Good people, good people, good people. Welcome back to the Gumptown Podcast, episode 197. I'm Doug B. If you tuned in to this podcast, thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate you giving this podcast a shot. Today's guest is the founder and owner of Sunblock Customz. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and I'm sure we'll all be inspired by his story. Let's chop it up with Tevin Brown. Tevin, how's it going, man?
Hey man, I'm better than well, bro. How about you?
Glad to hear that, and all is well on my end, too. First things first, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to chop it up with me. I really appreciate it.
For sure. Appreciate you for having me.
Yes, sir. Of course, we'll talk about all the great things you got going on with Sunblock Customz. But before we talk business, let's get to know the man behind the brand. Born in Tallahassee. What was y'all bringing like in Tallahassee?
Man, I'm a country boy. Yeah, Tallahassee is definitely a country environment. Small town. Not a whole bunch to get into, good or bad. So I guess that's one of the things that kind of helped lead me down the path of what I'm on for being, an entrepreneur and making my own way out here in the world.
Okay, sound good. Yeah, man. It is definitely beneficial growing up in a small town, man. Everybody know everybody, so it's
Uh,
just that tight knit village. Sound like you had a similar experience growing up in Tallahassee.
yeah, man. I spent a lot of time with my grandparents, like older people, and when you speak upon like that village aspect, like yeah, I could definitely say when I was growing up, I spent time being babysat by older family members, cousins, and things of that nature. So that probably like definitely shaped me to be the person that, as they would say, you got an old soul. Yeah, man. Growing up, I spent a lot of time around like older relatives growing up in the area where I grew up at.
Okay, yeah, man, that's how it is. I grew up in a small town too, man. I grew up in Wall, right outside of Montgomery, and that small town, like you said, man, grandparents, uncles, aunties, babysat you,
Uh,
man. One no daycare.
right, for sure.
Okay, cool, man. So you grew up in Tallahassee, do all your schooling there, and as you finished up high school, did you go to college, military, or did you go to work?
I went to Troy for a few years, and I actually bounced around a couple schools, to be honest. But man, I'm gonna be honest. Like I ultimately always knew school wasn't necessarily for me. I didn't like school when I was in school, but it kind of was like, growing up during the time of when we were growing up, it wasn't so much of, as many opportunities, so to say, as what's in your face these days. So you felt like the best way to be successful, so to say, was to go to school, or you say military or whatever the case may be. So I tried it out, and yeah, as they say, everything ain't for everybody.
Okay, and that's cool, man. You 1,000%, man. Everything ain't for everybody, and to that point, yeah, growing up, college is one of those things where it's like it's pushed upon you, like, hey, go to college, and
Mhm.
that's and hey, man, I think it's all good that you was able to realize it wasn't for you, and you redirected and made the necessary pivots, man, versus forcing yourself to
Yeah, for sure,
get a
for sure.
major and
I
get.
enjoyed my college career, so to say, for sure. But it was more so about like honestly during all the time, man, is where I did a lot of finding myself. So I could definitely say it was beneficial upon those aspects. Yeah, as I say, like far as going to school for X amount of years and all it is, like yeah, I'm really just here to be here.
No doubt, man, and I'm glad that you. Hey, college is definitely a great place to be. Fun time, man. You get a chance to meet people from all over. So
All right.
sounds like you did have a good time at Troy, man, while you were there.
Yeah. I went to Troy for a while, then I went to West Alabama for a brief period of time. And then I went to South Alabama, South whatever it is, in
Yeah.
Montgomery for like a semester or two. The last thing that I did do school wise was trade school, but I already knew at that particular point, like if I was to do any type of institution, it would have to be getting a trade. So, like as I say, that's what also kind of led me down into doing what I'm doing in current day. Like I knew if I was gonna do anything, it kind of had to be skill based. It's something that I take more serious. But around that last time when I was like truly in college, so to say, I was just like, yeah, man, being the person that I am, I realized that I learned more of the bulk of my lessons out here in the world. not in necessarily in a classroom. So like I kind of just took them and was like, well, whatever what it is was meant for me to do, I'm probably gonna find that out here more so in the world as opposed to in the classroom. And shoot, that I just took that and ran with it.
Hey, there you go. Hey, you found your path, man, and going to trade school, that's legit. And that's one of those
Yeah,
things that it don't get publicized like that. But yeah, like to that point, you go to trade school and you get you a trade, you'll always be able to feed yourself.
for sure, for sure, for
Yes,
sure.
sir. So let's talk about what you got going on present day at Sunblock Customs, man. So what exactly got you into this window tinting service field that you're in now?
So before I started, tin windows or had my own window tint company, I dabbled in, a few different things throughout my entrepreneurial journey. I started out being a personal trainer. I did that for a few years. Did stuff like pressure washing, several different things or whatever. However, nothing was fully hit to the point where it was lucrative enough for me to sustain myself. So at any rate, I got a friend and his uncle tint windows, and we were just talking about, the possibility of learning from him how to tint windows and just the opportunity that could come with it. And I just like I'm a numbers man. So like I just thought about it like, man, it ain't gonna take me 8 hours to tint a car. And on average, how long, I mean, what type of money do you think you'll make per car? So I just kind of did some numbers and it made more sense to me to be learning this particular craft as opposed to sitting in a job for 8, 9, 10, 12 hours or whatever a day and probably not even make the money that I would make in just one car. So like being who I was throughout my entrepreneurial journey, building relationships with people, gaining different skills, learning about networking, marketing, and things like that. I just it kind of like a light bulb had clicked in my head. It was like, it's something that I feel like I could really get the ball rolling and really just take it to whatever level that I choose, take it to. So, to keep a short story being long, it was more so like that. And I just really took a passion to it from there. And, started doing houses, started doing businesses and things like actually did a house today. So yeah, man. And I say it definitely treated me well. It definitely treated me well.
Okay, sounds good, man. And that's great that you got a chance to, like you said, dabble in a few different businesses with personal training and other endeavors that you delved into, and that you were able to find this window tinting service and turn it into a business. And like that's great, man, that you were around people that that gave you that this exposure to this field, and you realize, hey, you could maximize your time and your dollars doing this. So that's what it's about, making those pivots in life, man, and not being stuck
All right,
in one route, you know?
that part, that part.
Yes, sir. And I mean, I'm not surprised you ended up making these pivots. Just hearing you talk about college and trade school, what
Mhm.
you end up doing in your entrepreneurial journeys was in parallel to what you did with school. You tried a couple things, it didn't work. You found something that worked.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, one thing about me, man, I ain't afraid to jump out the window and see if I can fly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like a lot of time, man, like, I feel like a lot of people are afraid of their own potential, like possibly what they think of themselves or what they think other people may think or whatever what the case is, and you end up psyching yourself out to the point you don't even try. Like you'll never know if you don't try. And you know what I'm saying? Like I've always been a self-driven person and, relatively confident within myself and my own abilities. So it's like, hey man, like shoot, hey, why not? Hey, why not? So yeah, man, for sure.
Yes, sir. That's the mindset to have. Like, hey, why not? And to your point, man, like not letting people talk you out of going for it or being afraid of your own potential. That's a bar, man. Like, that's great that you've always had that attitude to step out there and just give it a shot. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to gain a new experience, a new way how not to do something. I mean,
Nah,
you don't ever really
uh,
fail. I mean, unless you just quit.
hey, I say that I definitely used to say that all the time, man. Like, when I through around that same time when I was telling you that, around my last period of time, through college institution, so to say, I started to truly understand more of that principle, like what 50 was talking about for to get rich or die trying. It's
Mhm.
like more so like even as I say for being successful or die trying. Like, bro, if I was to die today or that day or whatever the case, I wouldn't know what it's like to feel because until I died, I was trying. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I don't know what it's like to feel. Like, so I was always still trying. Like even the success, so to say, failures are part of the journey throughout the way. We also started a nonprofit organization as well. And part of like what we were teaching them last year throughout the summer program, and we had them go interview a few different entrepreneurs. And like one of the questions what we had them ask the entrepreneurs was, how imperative is it to see failure as a part of the journey and not be afraid of it? Because we all gonna fail at something at some point. Like you ain't gonna just succeed at everything the first time. However, whatever what that particular failure is, if you choose to use that as a tool or a lesson or whatever to do better the next time, then it's part of the success. It's just all about how you shape your mind and look at it. But if you stop right there, then yeah, it is failure. But if you keep going and you utilize that as a tool to help you prosper or to help you succeed, then that's part of the successful journey.
Mm. Yes, sir. That's spot on. That's a fact. That is a fact. And that's great, man. Like that you all have that nonprofit and exposing the youngest to the entrepreneurial world and having them interview entrepreneurs. I mean, that's great, man. Just that exposure and just understand, like you said, you ain't gonna get it all right all the time. You're gonna fall
Mm.
flat on your face sometime, but that's part of it because the
All
thing
right.
is if we got everything right the first time, when would we learn anything if we didn't fail a few times, you know?
All right. All right. Well, they
Yes,
say
sir.
joy wouldn't feel so good if it weren't for pain. Like,
Hey,
end
that's a
of that, you
fact.
want to appreciate the sunshine if it did rain sometimes. Like, all of it.
Yes,
All
sir.
of it.
No doubt,
Yeah.
man. No doubt. So I got to ask you about your brand name, man. I'm big into brand names and the origins and what's the inspiration behind them. So, like, what inspired you to name your company Sunblock Customs?
Uh, a few things actually. Like, so the sunblock part is like, one of the things. Like, man, I'm a visionary. So, like, even as we on this recording right now, like I know that it's our still distance, so I'm not afraid to speak on it when it does transpire. But at any rate, when I was looking at it and thinking about it, like far as window tint, and one location is a big thing for as business goes as well. And one of the things what I was looking at far as window tint company, where would something like that be most lucrative? Somewhere where it's a relatively warm climate, somewhere like a beach. And I was like, around different beaches and things like that. What's one of the first thing that you think about when somebody say sunblock or don't forget your sunblock or whatever the case may be? You think of maybe like the beach. However, that's the same thing that window tint is doing. It's blocking the sun to a certain extent. So it just like all kind of went for me is like, whether I'm out on the beach or whatever the case might be, it's kind of like a catch a prayer. Like right now, I got a shirt on. I don't know, if you remember like during the 90s where they had those shirts or the Got Milk slogan or the Got Milk wave, so to say. I got a shirt on right now say Got Sunblock,
Nice.
and it's predicated around my window tint company. So that's why I say it's like, when you think about window tint, like what is it doing to a certain extent? It's blocking out the sun, it's blocking out the heat, it's blocking out, the sun from just coming straight through where people can't just see you, give you a little privacy. It's like shades. So like that's where the sunblock part come from. And I may still ultimately end up being around the beach for as one of my location goes. So still speaking that to it in existence as we on this call right now. And then as far as the customs part, part of that inspiration was, I don't know if you remember, but like, back in 2000s where they had this show Pimp My Ride. They had the show Pimp
Right.
My Ride, and I used to think that all of that stuff was being done by the Pimp My Ride people. A lot of that stuff was outsourced through this company called West Coast Customs. And like their business is multifaceted, is multi-layered. They do several different things. It's not just window tint that they do or sell rims. It's so many different things up under that umbrella. It don't just box them into one thing. So why I didn't just say sunblock window tint or such and such window tint? I didn't want to ever box my company into like one thing. I'm a multi-layered, diverse individual, and I put that same energy and effort into my business. So I didn't want it to be boxed in either. It's just more of an umbrella to house these different things that the company will ultimately be doing.
Hmm. Man, that's solid, man. And just hearing you talk about how you came up with the name, very organic, very intentional, and that makes sense, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure. Hey, I appreciate the question because like I ain't hardly ever got a chance to share, some of the reasons or ideas or whatever with people. So yeah, I appreciate the question.
Yes, sir, no doubt. So I see just in terms of the services you offer, auto, commercial, residential. So what would you say a bulk of your work comes from?
Definitely the auto side, definitely the auto side right now. We also have dabbled in detailing. We haven't necessarily had a whole bunch of dependable help, so to say, in some of those areas. So like we do that sometimes, but like as I say, just some of the different things that the company does offer, we ultimately offer. We do auto detailing as well as vinyl routes as well. So if anybody, ever wanted routes, we do have some people that we outsource for some of those things, but you can come to Sunblock Customers and in one house get these services provided. But to answer your question, though, the bulk of what we do right now does come from auto team.
Okay, sounds good. All good, man. So the next portion of the podcast I like to delve into is whenever I have entrepreneurs on the platform like yourself, I like to talk about three things: the aha moment, action, and audacity. You pretty much already told us your aha moment, like what sparked the idea for you to come into this business, into this realm. So my next portion, I'll go right into the action. From the time you realized you wanted to come into this space, how long did it take you to get the LLC and get all the business stuff situated?
Um, so let's see. In 2019, 2019, was it 2019? Yeah. I think it was 2020. Yeah, it was 2020. So like in 2020, around February 2020, my grandfather, he had got sick. Ultimately, he was dealing with prostate cancer and different stuff like that. And I think he ultimately ended up getting COVID before they were calling it COVID, and he ended up passing. So like during that time at the job where I was working at the time, I had some PTO saved up, and they also kind of gave me like the what's the grieving process. I forget what they call it. But what I was doing there, I already had in mind that I was gonna start tenant at that time. So what I did was I ultimately had like a good 2 weeks of time that I could utilize and still be getting paid, so to say. So what I did during that time was like, man, I don't feel like it's gonna take me 2 weeks to learn how to tint. So like what I did was I just attacked it like I was going to work every day and for like 8 hours or whatever the case. It may have took longer than that. But each day I went and put my reps in each and every day until like, over that 2 weeks or whatever, I actually learned what I was doing, and I never went back to that job. So from there, I just kept working and doing, all of it, just getting better over time. So like from that 2020 time frame of like February, so to say, on up to like the next January, this is, as I say, the whole COVID era and all that. So when everybody started getting all the PPP loans and this, that, and the other, and when they were like, you gotta have an LLC and this, that, and the other, and if you ain't got it, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, man, I'm finna go and press the button. So that what made, honestly, that what made me get out of quote unquote hustle mode and go ahead and get my LLC. So like the top of 2021 is when I got my LLC, but I was working for about a solid year in the field, just building myself and putting my reps in before I had got my LLC.
Okay, it's all good, man. Hey, man, you was out there in it, building your brand, your reputation, making it happen. I mean, hey, sounds good to me. And just hearing, yeah, during that time frame, the PPP loans and like getting a chance to, I mean, hey, ain't no shame in it.
Yeah,
Hey, I don't
it
knock the
definitely ain't no shame.
hustle.
I'm telling you, man. I was like, shoot, man, I'm gonna see if I can hit some, but but
No doubt.
it ain't go like that. But it did like
Mhm.
just having the LLC, man. I do want to say this to like the other entrepreneurs that are listening, like, and I've advised several of my other entrepreneurial friends that were like, just operating in hustle mode for so long, and you trying to pay and do everything out of pocket. everything that you working for, you trying to pay your bills and build your business and do all of these different things out of pocket. Having that LLC just open up so many different opportunities for you. Like, you look better far as the bank go, if ever you need to, get a loan or this, that, and the other, or getting business credit, all of those things. Like, so now me being 5 years in, man, I have so many resources at my disposal to where like it's so many weights that have been lifted off of me and stresses that have been lifted off of me because I went ahead and did this right here. I put this into a position when I did. Now my business now has maturity and it's grown, and you know what I'm saying? Like it don't just look like something fake or just new to someone that may be looking to invest or whatever the case may be. I got staying in the game now, as they would say. But if I was just operating in hustle mode all this time and there is no registration, I ain't paying no taxes or none of that, then ultimately it truly don't exist. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely do want to advise, entrepreneurs that are listening or you for whatever reason hesitant about pressing the button and doing that part. Man, there's so many different or better opportunities out here for you once you actually get your paperwork together.
Man, that's spot on, and that's spot on advice, man. And it's so true, just in terms of having that LLC, that EIN number. It just like your business is legitimized. People take you serious, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
business credit, and ultimately, you can play that game of paying yourself under the table for as long as you want. Eventually, Uncle Sam gonna find you out. He gonna come see you,
All
man.
right. All right. Nah, for real.
Hey, Uncle Sam gonna come see about you now. You can run, but you can't hide. You know what time it is.
How you gonna come get it cut? How you gonna get it here? You gonna get it.
No doubt. No doubt, man. And that last portion, audacity, is one thing to have an idea, it's another thing to put action behind it, but to put it out to the world, to be praised or criticized, that's where the audacity comes in. Just hearing you talk, Tevin, it sounds like you gave yourself that audacity to go for it.
Man, for sure, man. Hey, one of the things like one of my favorite rapper, J. Cole, like one of the things where spoke profoundly to me, like when I first was starting to listen to bro, where he was like, "What good is being the one when you the only one that knows it?" Like, man,
Mm,
I wake up me every day. I haven't missed a day, so every single day, like, man, I know who I am. I know ain't nobody else have these thoughts, ideas, and things like that for me, and ain't nobody else gonna move on it for me. So, hey man, each and every day that I wake up with breath in my body or granted an opportunity to go out and make that day count, I gotta go make it count. So, shoot, hey man, regardless of what somebody else say, whether they praising me or criticizing me or whatever the case may be, I know what I'm doing it for. I got me to look at in the mirror, and I also got two boys that looking up to me as well. So man, I don't need no more motivation than that to get out here and make it happen. So,
mm.
yeah, man, that's who I am. That's who I am.
Yes, sir. Spot on, man. Powerful stuff. So you've done great things with the business. I know great things are coming down the pipeline, which leads to my next portion, vision. What are some of your short-term and long-term goals for the business you feel comfortable sharing?
I would definitely like to have. So right now I have a part-time employee that does help out with a few of the bigger jobs when we do have like bigger jobs or just kind of like slam, so to say. But I would love to be able to have the company in in a more stable position to be able to have somebody full time, so that it'll kind of pull me out of the field to a certain extent and to where I could kind of be more of the, they say it's like four quadrants to money. So to say, you got the employee, you got self-employed, you got the business owner, and you got the investor. Right now, I'm like more so in the self-employed quadrant, but I like to be able to get more into like the true business owner, which is like, you have more employees and, things like that. So yeah, man, short term, I would definitely love to have like a full-time team or details in person or something like that that could ultimately be working for the company and help us grow to the next level. And another short term goal, man, I just want to continue building great relationships. Right now, we have multiple dealerships that we do have contracts with. So, like, if that look like gaining another contract or two, or opening up another location, whatever that looks like, in order to for that particular vision to come to fruition. Yeah, man, I want to speak that into existence for sure.
Yes, sir. That's solid, man. Those great goals, short term, long term, and hey, I'm sure you're gonna put in the work and make it happen, Captain.
Hey man, got to.
Yes, sir. So, as we wrap up the podcast, Tevin, I want to ask the $1 million question. So, I started this podcast because I wanted to highlight the greatness connected to the city of Montgomery and the river region. Whether you were born here or lived here for a significant period of your life, be it college, military, or work, you being a hometown hero from the river region, up the road in Tallahassee, and now you're operating in business in Montgomery. I got to ask you, man, what do you appreciate the most about the city of Montgomery?
Man, the city of Montgomery gonna make you work for it. Like they gonna make you work for it. You gotta think outside of the box. Just because you quote unquote black or just because somebody know you or whatever the case may be, man, you still gotta put forth a great product before people support you or whatever the case may be. And I love that grind because I don't necessarily want anything given to me. So like some people may say that the city of Montgomery may be tough or whatever the case may be, but I feel like you gotta be able to be somebody in your own community or your own environment, so to say, before you go out here and be something else to the world, so to say. So yeah, man, I feel like all of this is just character building for me. So I had, not being a native of Montgomery, but I've built great relationships, be professionally as well as personally with a lot of people in Montgomery. So a lot of people have met me just from me out and touching touching the pavement, so to say. Like they see me out here in the world, like, damn, bro, be out here really moving around and shit. Like if I seen you, I make right now. I'm looking at your picture on the screen. But if I seen you at the gas station, you ain't have 10 on your car. I'd walk up to you professionally and all that with a business card in hand. Hey, sir, this is who I am. I have window tint company. If ever you looking to get your window tint, we'd love to be a great service to you. Things like that. Like, and I'm live my life like that. So yeah, man, like sure, man. I love that part about Montgomery. It make you think outside of the box and make you work for, work for your success because it definitely gonna be just give it to you, hand it to you.
Yes, sir. Spot on, man. That's powerful stuff. So, Tevin, how can the people connect with you, man? What are your social media handles and website?
You can check us out on Facebook at Sunblock Customs. That's Sunblock Customs with a Z, as well as you can go to our website. You can see all quotes, all prices for pretty much everything generally that you would like to get done on your automobile. There's Sunblock Customs again with a Z dot shop, Sunblock Custom dot shop. You can also find us on Instagram at We Busy Bro.
Okay, sounds good. Too easy. And of course, I'll put all the information in the description of the episode. Hey, Tevin, thanks again for the conversation, man. I really appreciate it.
Hey, bro, gratitude to you.
Yes, sir. Good people, that concludes another dope episode of the Gumptown Podcast. In the meantime, in between time, y'all know what to do. Be blessed, be safe, but most importantly, have the audacity to be you. Go on.